Would you repeat these words after me? They seized Paul and Silas. They dragged them into the marketplace before the authorities. They brought them before the magistrates. And they said, these men are disturbing our city. They are Jews. And they are advocating customs that are not lawful for us as Romans to adopt or to observe. I want you to stop right there, and I want you to consider with me the subtle, the slick, and the sophisticated way some folk have of lying on the Lord. Turn to your neighbor and say, lying on the Lord. Now, my many years in ministry have shown me up close and personal that church folk and folk who pretend to be religious will lie on the Lord in a New York heartbeat. They will say, the Lord told them something, and they lying on the Lord. They will say the Lord led them to leave a particular church. That's what they say. But what they mean is their love interests caused them to leave a particular church, or their likes and their dislikes caused them to leave a particular church, or their husband or wife, ex-husband or ex-wife caused them to leave a particular church, or their problems with the pastor caused them to leave a particular church, or the choir director gave their solo to another person. That caused them to leave a particular church. That's what they mean. But they don't say what they mean. What they say is the Lord led them to leave a particular church. And all they're doing is lying on the Lord. Some folk will lie on the Lord and say, the Lord called them into ministry. I just reviewed a book by the title of The Pimp and the Preacher. And the book is the autobiographical story of a man and several men who engage in the latest hustle. What the latest hustle is, the brothers coming out to joint. The brothers coming out to joint call these the 5 words no one can contest. I've been called to preach. And when the brothers engage in the latest hustle, what the brothers are doing is lying on the Lord. Ever since I was a teenager, I've seen some church folk pretend to shout and call themselves glorifying God, when all they're doing is calling attention to themselves, elevating ego, and lying on the Lord in the process. Somebody say, lying on the Lord. Even the President of the United States, Major, to justify his preemptive strike on a country that was no threat to us, but they sure are now, thanks to his lies, to justify his lies about weapons of mass destruction, to justify his lies about a connection between Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein, to justify his lies about a connection between 9/11/01 and Iraq when there was none. The president engaged in lying on the Lord and said, the Lord told him to go after Saddam Hussein. That is what you call high-level lying on the Lord. Somebody say lying on the Lord again. My many years of ministry have shown me up close and personal that both church folk and folk who don't go to church but who pretend to be religious, some folk will lie on the Lord quick and in a hurry. And what scares me sometimes is how these same folk will believe their own lie. There are many ways in which men and women who are made in the image of God will lie on God to justify their behavior. But today's text points us toward a demonic and devious kind of lie. When people lie on the Lord to put other people in bondage, we have seen it in Western history, and scholars of religion would argue accurately that we have also seen it in Eastern history, where the Quran justifies the holding of African slaves as long as the slaves are black, Bilal, and where the Hindu keep the women in bondage, inferior, and in tow by the sacred teachings of their texts. People use their religious lies to put other people in bondage. That's lying on the Lord, saying the Lord authorized chattel slavery.